It's over. After nearly 4 years of waiting, the Flyers have officially traded Ryan Ellis, ending one of the strangest chapters in recent team history. He was supposed to be a solution, the missing piece next to Ivan Provorov. Instead, he became a ghost, a $6.25 million mystery that never suited up again after just 4 games. Now Danny Briere has done what Chuck Fletcher couldn't. He turned a dead contract into freedom. This is the story of how we got here, from the original trade from Nashville to the final deal with San Jose, and what it all means for the Flyers' future. So stick around. When the Flyers announced that Ryan Ellis had been traded to the San Jose Sharks, you'd like to think that nobody would be surprised, but that wasn't the case. The deal sent Ryan Ellis and a mid-round pick to San Jose for 2 minor league players. It wasn't about the return value. It was about the release. The Flyers had cleared $6.25 million in cap space and finally end a saga that's lingered since 2021. Ellis never played again after suffering what's believed to be a complex pelvic injury. He remains on the long-term injury reserve. But now, that burden belongs to San Jose. Back in July 2021, the Flyers thought they were landing a cornerstone piece. The Flyers had acquired Ryan Ellis from the Nashville Predators for Nolan Patrick and Phil Myers. The vision was clear. Pair Ellis with Ivan Provorov. Chuck Fletcher was looking to create a legitimate top defensive duo for the Flyers. And for a brief moment, it looked brilliant. Ellis tallied 5 points in his first 4 games before the injury struck. Then came silence, speculation, and disappointment. The Flyers tried to stay optimistic, but deep down, they knew this wasn't just another injury. Before the injuries, Ryan Ellis was a technician. Not the biggest or the fastest, but rarely out of position. In Nashville, he was the perfect modern defenseman. 40-point seasons, reliable penalty killing, and a leadership presence. His hockey IQ made him invaluable beside Roman Josi. Flyers fans saw flashes of that poise in just a short stint, but the magic would end too soon. When healthy, Ellis was everything that the Flyers could have wanted. Crisp exits, quick reads, and a calming effect on the ice. Unfortunately, his body couldn't keep up with his mind. Once it became clear that Ellis wouldn't return, the Flyers' defense spiraled. Ivan Provorov struggled without him. Cam York was maybe rushed. The entire blue line lost identity. The Ellis injury wasn't just one player missing. It was a domino effect that threw the Flyers' defensive structure into chaos. It forced short-term fixes, depth signings, and eventually led to an organizational reset. In hindsight, Ellis's injury may have been the final push that nudged the Flyers towards a full-on rebuild. Phil Myers was supposed to be the big-bodied, modern right-shot defenseman the Flyers could develop. Undrafted, athletic, and showing early promise, Myers looked like a steal, but inconsistency haunted him. His decision-making and defensive reads couldn't keep up with his tools. Nashville had hoped to rehabilitate his game, but it never clicked there either. A year later, he was moved again, and this time to Tampa Bay, where he became a depth option. The Ellis trade didn't help Myers either. It was a move that derailed multiple careers, not just one. Few stories are more heartbreaking than Nolan Patrick's, drafted second overall in 2017. He was meant to be the Flyers' next franchise center, but chronic migraines and injuries robbed him of that chance. His confidence disappeared, his skating slowed, and by 2021, it was clear a change of scenery was needed. Nashville traded him to Vegas shortly after, where his luck somehow got worse. Another injury sidelined him indefinitely, and currently it's unclear if Nolan Patrick will ever play again. The Ellis deal wasn't anyone's fault. It was just pure bad fortune all the way around. For San Jose, this is purely business. They're rebuilding, and like Arizona before them, they're weaponizing cap space. Taking on Ellis's contract helps them reach the cap floor while collecting a draft pick for their trouble. It's a low-risk, high-efficiency move for general manager Mike Grier. Ellis will remain on the LTIR, and the Sharks will gain a small asset for doing Philadelphia the favor. For a team with no playoff expectations, this is the kind of smart accounting that helps build for tomorrow.
When you're on the ice, not a word really needs to be spoken. That was the beauty of being a Flyer.
I've played with a lot of great teams, a lot of great players, but that was the closest group of teammates I've ever played with.
In football, you need that quarterback to be special. In hockey, you need your goaltender to be special. And Pelle was just beginning to emerge as a player.
Pelle wanted so desperately to be a star in the NHL. It's what he wanted most.
Pelle Lindbergh. Thank you, Bernie.
By all accounts, Pelle was not a drinker.
He picked his spots carefully. He would drink, but to be impaired, intoxicated, very rare.
And then the next thing I know, all I seen was a white wall. I said, Pelle, there's a white wall. There's a white wall.
It was a horrific scene. The car was mangled.
The headlight in front of Pelle had to be back 3 feet from where it initially should have been.
I read an article, you almost got into the Porsche. Is that true?
Not really. Me and Murray Craven lived 3 blocks from the establishment, so we just walked home.
Catching the wall right here in this corner, it was devastating.
And he went into cardiac arrest, and CPR was started immediately.
Talked to the police. I asked him, I said, is he going to be okay? And the police officer said, he'll be lucky to live.
Police officer asked us if we had to identify a body. And I remember looking at Murray, and Murray goes, I can't do it. My gut was turning, and I didn't know what to do.
And he passed away when I was holding his hand. You know,
that moment?
That moment, yeah. And so we were destined to be a team.
Pelle, I don't blame you. I never blamed you. I wish I could take that day back. And so many people you've touched in your life miss you.
This trade may be one of Danny Briere's quietest but arguably smartest move yet. With the move, the Flyers now have over $7.25 million in actual cap space, not LTIR loopholes, real flexibility. That means the ability to extend young talent, target free agents strategically, and avoid the dead money trap that plagued previous regimes. Briere and Keith Jones have already cleaned house carefully. They're not chasing headlines. They're building responsibly. This move is about control, not chaos. Putting players on the LTIR sounds great, until it isn't. Yes, it lets teams exceed the cap, but it stops them from banking space during the season. It's a handcuff disguised as help. For the Flyers, living under the LTIR for years meant zero long-term planning flexibility. Every move was reactive, not proactive. Now, without Ellis's contract haunting their books, the Flyers can actually plan around a clean salary structure. And that matters, especially for a team grooming a young core and preparing for a big summer in 2026. But this deal wasn't just financial, it's emotional. It closes one of the last doors from the Fletcher era. Ryan Ellis was one of the poster children of the old regime's desperate attempt to fix things fast. Danny Briere's front office isn't chasing shortcuts. They're accepting reality, reshaping the cap, and creating space for players who can define the new era. Ellis's departure is symbolic. The moment the Flyers officially left the past behind and committed to rebuilding the right way. This trade will quietly impact everything. Without Ellis's contract, the Flyers can make better use of their resources. They can pursue trades with flexibility, and more importantly, they can enter next summer with clarity. No cap gymnastics. For years, Flyers fans watched the team patch holes. This time, the foundation's being rebuilt, not taped together. Sometimes the most important trades aren't flashy. They're freeing. Ryan Ellis will always be one of those names Flyers fans remember with frustration, unfortunately. He didn't fail the Flyers. His body did. And after years of speculation, the final trade gives both sides peace. For Philadelphia, it's closure and cap space. For Ellis, it's an end to the waiting. And for Danny Briere, It's a step forward, away from the ghosts of the past, towards something built to last. The Flyers can finally breathe again. Ryan Ellis is no longer a Flyer, and that's exactly what they needed. And that's it. Ryan Ellis is gone. Not in the way anyone wanted, but in the way that it had to happen. This isn't the kind of deal that trends on social media, but it's the kind that changes the math behind everything the Flyers do next. From cap space to rebuild clarity, Briere's front office just earned itself another win. The quiet, disciplined kind that builds long-term success. So what did you guys think? Did the Flyers exercise one of their biggest ghosts? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like if you've been following this saga since 2021. And subscribe for more Flyers breakdowns this week and every week to come. In the meantime, don't forget to keep it high, keep it wide. We'll see you next time on HW Hockey.